Nay, she sleeps not, said Sigurd. Her heart is dealing rather with dreadful intent against me. Then said Gudrun, weeping, Woe worth a while for thy death! Go and see her, and wot if her fury may not be abated. Give her gold, and smother up her grief and anger therewith. Then Sigurd went out and found the door of Brynhild's chamber open. He deemed she slept, and drew the clothes from off her, and said, Awake, Brynhild! The sun shineth now over all the house, and thou hast slept enough. Cast off grief from thee, and take up gladness. She said, And how then hast thou dared to come to me? In this treason none was worse to me than thou. Said Sigurd, Why wilt thou not speak to folk? For what cause sorrowest thou? Brynhild answers, Ah, to thee will I tell of my wrath. Sigurd said, As one under a spell art thou, if thou deemest that there is aught cruel in my heart against thee. But thou hast him for husband whom thou didst choose. Ah, nay, she said, never did Gunnar ride through the fire to me, nor did he give me to dower the host of the slain. I wondered at the man who came into my hall, for I deemed indeed that I knew thine eyes, but I might not see clearly, or divide the good from the evil, because of the veil that lay heavy on my fortune. Says Sigurd, No nobler men are there than the sons of Giuki. They slew the king of the Danes, and that great chief, the brother of King Budli. Brynhild answered, Surely, for many an ill deed must I reward them. Mind me not of my griefs against them. But thou, Sigurd, slewest the worm, and rodest the fire through, yea, and for my sake, and not one of the sons of King Giuki. Sigurd answers, I am not thy husband, and thou art not my wife, yet did a far-famed king pay dower to thee. Says Brynhild, Never looked I at Gunnar in such a wise that my heart smiled on him, and hard and fell am I to him, though I hide it from others. A marvellous thing, says Sigurd, not to love such a king. What angers thee most? For surely his love should be better to thee than gold. This is the sorest sorrow to me, she said, that the bitter sword is not reddened in thy blood. Have no fear thereof, says he. No long while to wait, or the bitter sword stand deep in my heart. And no worse needest thou to pray for thyself, for thou wilt not live when I am dead. The days of our two lives shall be few enough from henceforth. Brynhild answers, Enough and to spare of bale is in thy speech, since thou bewrayest me, and didst twin me of all bliss. Naught do I heed my life or death. Sigurd answers, Ah, live and love King Gunnar, and me withal, and all my wealth will I give thee, if thou die not. Brynhild answers, Thou knowest me not, nor the heart that is in me, for thou art the first and best of all men, and I am become the most loathsome of all women to thee. This is truer, says Sigurd, that I loved thee better than myself, though I fell into the wiles from whence our lives may not escape. For when so my own heart and mind availed me, then I sorrowed sore that thou wert not my wife. But, as I might, I put my trouble from me. For in a king's dwelling was I, and withal, and in spite of all, I was well content that we were all together. Well may it be that that shall come to pass which is foretold. Neither shall I fear the fulfilment thereof. Brynhild answered and said, Too late thou tellest me that my grief grieved thee. Little pity shall I find now. Sigurd said, This my heart would, that thou and I should go into one bed together, even so wouldst thou be my wife. Said Brynhild, Such words may nowise be spoken, nor will I have two kings in one hall. I will lay my life down. rather than beguile Gunnar the king."
And therewith she called to mind how they met, they two, on the mountain, and swore oath each to each.
"But now all is changed, and I will not live."
"I might not call to mind thy name," said Sigurd, "or know thee again before the time of thy wedding. The greatest of all griefs is that." Then said Brunhild,
"I swore an oath to wed the man who should ride my flaming fire, and that oath will I hold to, or die."
"Rather than thou die, I will wed thee, and put away Gudrun," said Sigurd. But therewithal so swelled the heart betwixt the sides of him, that the rings of his byrnie burst asunder.
"I will not have thee,"
says Brunhild,
"nay, nor any other."
Then Sigurd got him gone. So saith the song of Sigurd. Out then went Sigurd, the great king's well-loved, from the speech and the sorrow, sore drooping, so grieving that the shirt round about him of iron rings woven from the sides brake asunder of the brave in the battle. So when Sigurd came into the hall, Gunnar asked if he had come to a knowledge of what great grief lay heavy on her, or if she had power of speech. And Sigurd said that she lacked it not. So now Gunnar goes to her again, and asked her what wrought her woe, or if there were anything that might amend it.
"I will not live,"
says Brunhild,
"for Sigurd has bewrayed me, yea, and thee no less, whereas thou didst suffer him to come into my bed. Lo thou, 2 men in one dwelling I will not have, and this shall be Sigurd's death, or thy death, or my death. For now he has told Gudrun all, and she is mocking me even now."
End of section 8.